predominantly the land of the Mi'kmaq. May we live with respect on this land and live in peace and friendship with its people. We also recognize the African Nova Scotians whose culture, heritage, and history have been and remain a key part of our province for more than 400 years. Just to mention, we have Councillor Peters online this evening as well. Welcome. I'm going to ask for the approval of the agenda, moved by Deputy Mayor Dorrington.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councillor Joe McDonald. All in favor, signify.
Aye.
Oh, you're quick tonight. Thank you. Okay, moving right along. So I'm really pleased to welcome Barb Young with us this evening. Barb has a presentation. She's on behalf of the Aberdeen School of Nursing alumni, and you'll tell us, Barb, the years. I believe it's 30 years once it closed, right? Right, right. So welcome, Barb, and please go ahead. We were speaking. I think it's that broadcast with alumni folks and present. They presented some of this. This was actually a year ago. And also, we have a member of the committee on our New Glasgow 150 committee as part of sharing your celebration and our celebration together. So I know the enthusiasm that brings this and the planning that's been going on for sure. And I'll just mention, because I thought of it when you mentioned the gardens and the trees, we have a signature tree, a signature flower as well. So the flowering crab is their signature tree, and daylily is it a particularly long leaf? Is it any daylily? Knows everything about trees that there is to know. Any questions, comments? Anyone else? Barb, thank you very, very much for coming this evening. We really appreciate that. And we really love what I really think what you're doing. I think it's a tremendous. Okay, I'd like to now ask for the approval of the consent agenda, which I would like before I ask I would like to mention that today is Martin Luther King Day. We have a proclamation in our package. I think it's important to recognize that this is the actual moved by Councillor McKenna, seconded by Deputy Mayor Dorrington. Any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Now on to the reports. The approval of the Committee of the Whole report. Moved by Councillor Peters. Seconded by Councillor Jessica McDonald. Any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The finance report. Moved by Councillor Fraser.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councillor Joe McDonald. Any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Engineering and Public Works report. Moved by Councillor Joe McDonald. Seconded by Councillor Peters. I just want to mention thank you to the Public Works staff with the erection of the second bus station. Really, really looks great. So you've got two in the north, one in the south end, one in the north end, and the library one is up. Great, so we're completed. Good, great to hear. Yes, go ahead.
Just wanted to say thank you for your quick response to the question that I had about Ward 1 and the rec center and the ramp there. So appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Any further questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The solid waste report. Moved by Deputy Mayor Dorrington.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councillor McKenna. Any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The police report. Moved by Deputy Mayor Dorrington. Seconded by... Everybody's going to second it. I heard Joe. Yeah. Seconded by Councillor Joe McDonald. Any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The community development report. Moved by Councillor Jessica McDonald, seconded by Councillor Peters. Any questions on the motion? I just have one comment, Director of Community Development. I was just wondering if you could very, very quick update on the Nebraska 150 progress to date. Was it in the report? I just thought maybe, is that okay to add to it? Thank you very much for that. Any further questions? Comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. The Business Development Officer's report.
Your Worship, I'll move that we accept the Business Development Officer's report as
Move.
submitted.
Moved by Councillor Joe McDonald, seconded by Councillor Fraser. Any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The fire report and fire inspection report. Moved by Councillor Peters,
I'll second that.
seconded by Councillor Joe McDonald. Any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The information technology report. Moved by Councillor Jessica McDonald, seconded by Deputy Mayor Dorrington. Any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you all. Thank you to staff as well for the reports. On to new business, our accounts.
I'll second that.
Moved by Councillor Fraser, seconded by Councillor Joe McDonald. Any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. And I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn. Thank you. We'll take just a couple of minutes and then move into our committee of the whole meeting. Meeting, I'm going to ask for the approval of the agenda as circulated. Moved by Deputy Mayor Dorrington. Seconded by Councillor Jessica McDonald. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. On to matters for senior staff. Our first is a recommendation from our Assistant Director of Engineering and Public Works. It's an award recommendation. We're asking for a motion to approve the award of wastewater flow meters tender to the bid submission from Biomax Environmental with the highest overall qualified evaluation in the amount of $126,264 plus HST as a successful proponent to provide new wastewater flow meters with specified attachments to the town of New Glasgow using funds from the Town of New Glasgow approved 2024-25 general capital budget.
Your Worship, I'll move that we accept the recommendation.
Moved by Councillor Joe McDonald, seconded by Deputy Mayor Dorrington. Any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have a recommendation from our Director of Engineering and Public Works, permission for out-of-province travel. You could talk into your mic, maybe.
I just want it to be known that APN represents Accessibility Professional Network. I know some of us, one of them has trouble remembering what the acronyms all stand for. So
Thank you for that. Moved by Councillor Fraser, seconded by Councillor Peters. Are there any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda, we have a recommendation from the Director of Human Resources and Corporate Communications regarding the 4-day work week. It is recommended that Council approve the following. Approval of the current Town of New Glasgow town office operating hours 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, 9 hours per day, 4 days a week, with either a 30-minute lunch and 2 15-minute breaks or a 1-hour lunch break. The motion to approve that recommendation.
Your worship, after reading this many times, I was able to understand how it is an advantage to all parties involved. And I think it should be distinguished, so I think it's clear there that it doesn't apply verbatim to the operations part of our town. So with all
Maybe if-
that in mind, I think it wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of
Maybe a motion to approve and seconder, and then we'll ask that question.
definitely. I'll do the move. Thank you.
Moved by Councillor Fraser, seconded by Councillor Peters. Now, your question?
My question was, how does that apply? I think maybe that's where the external part comes in, as opposed to the internal. Because we're talking about the workplace here, the town hall, and then we're talking about the operations, whereas flex time apply the same way.
So we have unionized staff under, we have two unions, QB and the Atlantic Police Association Union. So the platoon members are already on 4-day scheduling. Our fire QB members are also on 4-day scheduling. Our QB Public Works mechanical shop are already on 4-day scheduling, but all other employees under the QB current contract for our water treatment facility, the transportation unit, and environmental services are all Monday to Friday with their set hours of 8 to 4.
Any further questions?
I appreciate that there's subject to operational needs that could be changed. I think that was a great deal of wisdom putting that in there. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? Okay, ready for your question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you for the extensive report on that. Next, we've received a memo from the Environment and Sustainability League on the Carbon Run proposal. The information was in your package, and it's not a recommendation, just a motion to receive. No, there is a recommendation, sorry.
Yes, your worship, I'll move the all of recommendation.
Moved by Councillor Joe McDonald, seconded by Councillor Jessica McDonald. Are there any further questions on the motion? This was presented at the climate change and sustainability meetings. There was a presentation on that. So thank you for that. And all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you everyone for that. On to committee reports. We have a memo from the Pictou County Transit Authority.
Your worship, I move that we accept that, or that we move forward with that.
Received. Moved by Councillor Fraser, seconded by Deputy Mayor Dorrington. Any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Just a comment on that. Thanks to our Director of Corporate Services who attends the meetings and provided this report. Very important, our contract with CHAD as the managing body of Pictou County Transit ends the end of March, and at present there is a job opportunity for a manager for Pictou County Transit, so spread the word. Thank you. Next, we have a memo from the Pictou County Wellness Center Building Authority, Inc. An update. Motion to approve. Deputy Mayor Dorrington, seconded by Councillor Jessica McDonald. Any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you to our CAO for the report. Next, we have an update on the Pictou County Partnership, the third quarter update, and also you were provided the new member presentation.
Motion received, Your Worship.
Moved by Councillor Joe McDonald. Seconded by Councillor Jessica McDonald. Any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. A CEF update, Councillor McKenna.
Thank you, Mayor Dix. As the town's representative to the CEF, and I'm going to be calling this perhaps the AEF because that's what it was all called when I grew up in Pictou. I attended my first meeting of the advisory board meeting on December 3rd. The advisory board has two purposes: to approve requests for assistance with projects for nonprofit and community organizations, and to get the word out to the community that the CEF is available to help support projects that need support. For example, at the meeting that I attended, two requests for assistance were approved for a community center in the municipality of Pictou County. The first one was to build walking and biking trails, and the second one was to renovate a kitchen in a community center so that it meets the standards to become a comfort warming center for residents in the area in times of crisis. It's important to note that CEF provides the skilled workers to complete the project. They do not provide materials. Projects also have to align with the skills of the CEF, personnel such as carpentry, electrical, and plumbing skills. So I'm bringing this information to council to create awareness and to encourage everyone to spread the word about the opportunity for community and nonprofit organizations to take advantage of this opportunity. I move the adoption of this report.
Moved by Councillor McKenna, seconded by Deputy Mayor Dorrington. Any questions on the motion? I'd just like to comment, thank you very much for that. Committees that are outside of the council don't have a staff representative, so it's really wonderful to have that report. So all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Just add that the lineup from community centers throughout the municipal units was long and lengthy, and noticeably absent were any from Glasgow. So I just put that plug in that we should be passing that along to the Ward 1, 2, and 3 centers that perhaps need projects and they need the manpower. So keep that in mind.
I think Councillor Peters has her hand up.
Oh, yes, it was just, just adding on what, Councilman Kelly said, I have passed that on to the Movement Grant members, since they have some extensive work that needs to be done on all of that.
Thank you.
Thank you, yeah.
Next on the agenda, reports on the Riverview Home Corporation. Councillor McKenna.
Thank you, Mayor Dix. As the town's representative on Riverview Home Corporation, I've attended several board meetings already. The most recent one was held on December 12th, and the next one is going to be in 3 days' time. A new executive was chosen. Mayor Jim Ryan is the chair. Clary McKinnon is the vice chair. Sandra Ice from the town of Sullerton, councillor, is secretary. And yours truly is the treasurer. No laughter, please. Implementation of the remedy report remains the highest priority for the board and the staff. Board and staff are also in discussions about the future of the Adult Residential Center campus in Riverton, which is scheduled to close sometime around the end of 2026. Overall, the financials remain in good shape for Riverview. Per diem funding for each resident is continually adjusted to cover necessary services as the adult residential center population decreases. As the closure of the adult residential center nears and the individualized funding model is introduced through the Nova Scotia Department of Community Services, now called the Department of Opportunities and Social Development, the board has expressed an urgency for housing choices in non-institutionalized settings for residents with extremely high medical needs. Staff feel that those high needs cannot currently be met within the private sector while following the directives outlined in the remedy report that we all must follow. The board, therefore, has agreed that we should move forward with plans to construct suitable accommodations as options. I submit this report and move that it be adopted.
Moved by Councillor McKenna, seconded by Councillor Fraser. Any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you again for that report, Jim. We just, I believe there was an article, I read somewhere, recently. Yeah, but it's great to have that information. Thank you. Okay, on to new business. No, sorry, excuse me. Questions by members. Councilor McDonald. I don't know what yours you'd want to talk about here.
Thank you, Your Worship. As you're aware, a few years back, about 2019, we started down the road with Department of Natural Resources on a deer study. Being probably the number one concern of the residents on Ward 3 is the deer and the amount of deer. I spoke to a woman today, and there was actually 3 killed on Sullivan Road within the last week in front of her property. So I know the area very well because I had most of my pets killed at one time on that road, right across the street. Just wondering if we could get council could get an update on where we are. I know we had some trouble with, we started the pellet count, and then COVID hit, and then when we went back to the Department of Natural Resources, they said, no, it's got to be consistent, 5 years complete. I'm just wondering where we are with that, and maybe we could get a report. Or
So it's not the Department of Natural Resources that actually does it. We hired a retired biologist.
no,
We didn't have it done last year because we didn't approve the budget till almost August. So it has to be the window, before the foliage is out. So the evidence had shown in the last report that the population is increasing. So our staff have been dealing with a series of complaints that have been primarily driven out of the west side over the last few weeks. And they've been engaging with Natural Resources on messaging. So there's a pamphlet that's being produced. And there's also an article that's ready to go, I understand as well. But the pamphlet's going to be delivered in every mailbox by our bylaw enforcement, because every complaint that's come in, they are alerting us to feeding that's taking place by neighbors that they don't necessarily want to tell on. So I think that we need to move to the stage of putting signage up as well, similar to what Truro has, around bringing awareness of feeding, because while we recognize that some of the deer are being born in town, they don't know boundary lines. And the last time, we can certainly ask again because there are new councils, but our neighboring municipalities had no interest in participating in an urban deer management plan. I do think that's changed in at least one of them, because it needs to be a collective issue because of where the deer are traveling. But the pamphlet, that's at the forefront. They want to get that out immediately because of the coyote awareness as well. So Natural Resources working with staff on their messaging that can go into the pamphlets. But we do encourage residents to notify us if they're aware of feeding. Their names are not disclosed, but we would have our bylaw enforcement visit those properties and give an education piece, but he will be delivering door to door the pamphlets.
I think we should move ahead with signs. So can we have staff prepare a report on signs and all that, and bring that back maybe for the next meeting so we can approve and get that going? I do know if we need our biologist, the gentleman from Antigonish, retired Department of Natural Resource biologist, if we need to get him back for something, this is the time to plan that, because he does have other things on his plate, as I know you and I have talked about this several times. So I think we can't miss that window of opportunity.
Sure. We used him as well with some of the messaging around the coyotes.
And maybe even a public session, with him present for the community, so they can come and speak to us. I know we've had one before at Glasgow Square, but I'll leave that up to staff, and maybe they can report back to us at the next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Dorrington?
Just a comment, we talked about the deer being hit and killed on Bellington Road. I know on the Bell Road we have a deer crossing sign.
Yep.
And as a matter of fact, last night when I put my dog out to bark and chased the 5 of them out of the yard, and they stopped at the Bell Road because cars were coming down, and then as soon as the cars passed, they actually walked across.
I mean, they're really smart deer.
They're smart, but the thing
And
is,
tame.
I don't know what it is. We don't seem to have them getting hit in the Ward 1 area. I haven't come across anyone who said the deer was hit. So I don't know if it's the deer crossing. People know that there's certain natural deer crossing areas, so they're kind of on the local. I don't know.
Southern
That's
Road.
valid, I think.
Typically, we get the calls about the pickup. I just wanna ask, our town engineer if we received calls about tree deer being killed.
It'll be right around 351, 338. No. I know I lived right across the road, so I know every pet I had didn't make it.
Any other questions, comments? But that certainly, for a long time, this has been a number one concern. Councillor Peters?
First, your worship, is there any possibility of, like, you can employ you on the doorstep so that people have so many concerns about, would there be any consideration or appetite for being,
So the request was made to the other, so we've been given advice from Natural Resources that really New Glasgow taking on the issue on its own would be fruitless because they don't understand the boundaries. So they had encouraged it to be a regional committee that was maybe council members and citizens. With the new councils, I will invite and express that there's interest with our council to get some members from their own council and see if we can get structure around setting up a committee to look at the issue because it is a regional issue.
As we know in the past from our Department of Natural Resources colleagues, that there was 3 major herds in Glasgow, and they all migrate. One being the Priestville Vale Road area, one being Monroe Avenue on the west side, the other one being in Abercrombie, right? And they migrate quite far, but they always return to certain places, right?
Mhm.
And I know we talked to the county before, and the county said, "Oh, we don't have a problem." I mean, that's what we get from our neighbors, right? So maybe they go back there to rest, but they're certainly out at all hours of the night on the west side.
And they are very, very populous on the Pioneer Trail and on the south end of New Glasgow, by the dozens at a time. Yeah.
But you can't disregard, Mountain Road, they want to claim
Everybody.
Everybody wants to claim the deer. There's no question that the deer have great concern and increasingly so over the years. You know, having extensive conversations with many people, as we all have, the remedies are few and far between. But I do think a number of the things that were mentioned this evening, the signage, I think, is important. And I do believe that the deer crossing signs do make a difference. But I think as well, one of the best opportunities we had was for an information session that we held at Glasgow Square, like you say. So perhaps that's something we can look at again, and as well as reaching out to our neighboring communities. So thank you for bringing that up.
Your worship.
Yes.
The gentleman that spoke to us as an expert, his PowerPoint presentation was Mark Pulsifer.
Yes, he's a retired biologist. Who does our work.
Yeah. Well, he's been our go-to guy over the years.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you, everyone. Next, under new business, we have in our package a letter from Michelle Johnson regarding public water fluoridation. We're looking for a motion to receive. Moved by Councillor Joe McDonald, seconded by Councillor Peters. Any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We also have a letter from the Nova Scotia Association of Realtors We need a motion to receive. Moved by Deputy Mayor Dorrington. Seconded by Councillor Jessica McDonald. Any questions on the motion? Yes, go ahead, Councillor Peters. Yeah. We can make them aware of that error. Or maybe that's there on purpose, I don't know.
Tina, we read it.
Did we approve the motion to receive?
We have a motion on the floor.
On the floor, yes. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And we finally have a letter from Municipal Affairs Minister regarding the elected officials' code of conduct.
Motion to receive, your worship.
Moved by Councillor Joe McDonald. Seconded by Councillor Jessica McDonald. Any questions on the motion? I will just mention here that there's a mandatory code of conduct training session. I don't know if anybody has attended yet, but I think the one for our region is on Monday, the 27th, in Truro. Yes. So with that, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everyone, and a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you.